Los Angeles-based quartet who are beginning to receive much-deserved attention following the success of the latest Lollapalooza tour. And many people are familiar with the song Pretend We're Dead from the band's last album, Bricks Are Heavy, which received some airplay on Beavis and Butthead. L7 released their second album for Slash Reprise, Hungry for Stink, this summer, and after the Lollapalooza tour, went out on a headlining gig with the Melvins and Wool in support. That particular tour went through Minneapolis early last month. I had a chance to interview bassist Jennifer Finch, and I asked her about the new album.
We recorded it in Los Angeles. It was produced by Garth Richardson, who did the Melvins and Rage Against the Machine, and whose father did Bob Seger's Night Moves and Kiss and Alice Cooper Group, and he sort of grew up on that kind of stuff, and then, you know, got into the punk rock in the 80s and 90s. So he sort of had the best of both worlds, and we were looking for a producer that could really reflect like the diversity of songwriting. You know, we really wanted someone who would know what we were talking about when we said, well, we want like the power that the drums that the Melvins had or Rage Against the Machine have in their drums, but also if we were to say like, well, we want this guitar solo to sound like something maybe that would be on an Eddie Cochran record, they'd know what we were talking about, you know? They wouldn't be so like single-minded into one genre.
Jennifer was very much sure of her surroundings when I asked her about which shows on the Lollapalooza tour were standout, and she also had a story to tell about that particular show.
Oh, definitely the St. Paul, Minneapolis show was a definite highlight.
The Harriet Island show.
Harriet Island, certainly. You think I know where I am?
Oh, I know.
I get up out of that submarine of a bus and play a show, look around.
That's cool. Any, I know I was reading in like
It was a lot of fun. Do you know AMREP Records? Amphetamine Reptile Records. They're Minneapolis-based record.
Right.
Their fearless leader is named Tom Hazelmeyer.
Okay.
And Tom, well, he bent his elbow a couple times throughout the day and was a little drunk on peppermint schnapps by the end of the night. And you know, Harriet Island, there are boats around it. So a lot of people had pulled their boats up to watch the show from their boats. And Tom Hazelmeyer stood on the shore challenging each yachter to a fight. He's like, come on, you lily white motherfucker. Get off your damn boat. And then he'd sort of trip over his own feet. We had to drag him back into the bus, and he'd like work his way out and want to fight them more.
I asked Jennifer with whom L7 hung out with during the Lollapalooza tour.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and the Breeders. It kind of, there's this weird dividing line, because the bands that would play earlier would play and then have to drive to the next town because they'd have to be there earlier the next day. So the Beastie Boys and the Smashing Pumpkins we didn't see much of because they would play late, spend the night, and then drive in the day, where we were driving overnight. So there was sort of a shift, a Lollapalooza shift that was happening. Okay. You know, they had the swing shift, we had the day shift.
We also talked about the first video from the new album.
We did a video for Andre, which was the first single from the record, and I don't know, MTV played it a bit. And played a lot. It's not really your typical MTV video, and that's okay.
That's right.
So they didn't really play it that much, but there is a poodle in it.
I also asked Jennifer if there are any new bands out that L7 like.
No.
No?
Yeah, actually, our friends in LA, Butt Trumpet, got signed to EMI.
I've heard like 2
And
tracks.
you should check out Butt Trumpet. They're pretty amazing. I can't believe that EMI signed them.
Finally, Jennifer said of the band's future plans.
Well, we just did a second video for a song called Stuck Here Again. And we're going to Europe and then, I don't know, do some touring and some more touring and some eating and sleeping and stinking on and on.
L7 did, by the way, rock the house at First Avenue in Minneapolis Sunday, October 2nd. I was quite surprised and pleasantly so at the performance. If they do come back through the area, make sure that you catch them. Here's a song from Hungry for Stink. This is L7 with Fuel My Fire on the Leaving Skaars radio show.
Hey, this is Jennifer from L7, and you are listening to Mark Skaar on the Leaving Skaars radio show on KIOW FM 107.3 in Forest City.